Ever imagine waking up to a world flipped on its head? No stores, no services, just chaos. Sounds like a movie, right? But in today's unpredictable world, it's a real possibility. In situations like these, protecting yourself and your essentials from looters should be your top priority. In this video, we'll explore some items that may draw unwanted attention, and, most importantly, how to keep them hidden. Let's start with supplies. We're talking about everyday essentials, the things you might not think much about until they're gone. These include first aid kits, hygiene products, and yes, even toilet paper. These basics are your lifeline in a SHTF scenario, keeping you clean, healthy, and let's be honest, sane. But here's the catch. In a world flipped on its head, these ordinary items turn into treasures, and that makes them a big shiny target for looters. So, how do you keep your precious supplies out of the wrong hands? It's all about being clever and a little bit sneaky. Get creative. Think hidden compartments, false walls, or burying sealed containers. Make your stash invisible to prying eyes, blending into the chaos of the world around you. And it's not only about hygiene products and first aid kits. Lighting is important as well. Think flashlights and batteries. They are crucial during power outages and emergencies. Hide flashlights and batteries to ensure visibility when needed. Keep them in strategic locations throughout your living space. Make sure they're easily accessible in the dark. Similarly, communication devices like radios and walkie-talkies are essential for coordination and exchanging information during a crisis. Hide them to safeguard your communication channels. Keep your devices hidden in plain sight, disguising them as everyday objects to avoid detection. When it comes to supplies, we can't forget camping gear. Tents, sleeping bags, and camping stoves. These are crucial for temporary shelter and comfort during emergencies. Hide your camping gear to maintain readiness for outdoor survival. Store them in compact, lightweight containers, making transport and concealment easy during emergencies. Another important supply you might not think to hide is a survival guide. Knowledge of survival techniques and strategies is invaluable. Hide your survival manuals to retain access to vital information when needed. Keep them in a waterproof and durable container, ensuring they remain intact and accessible during emergencies. Moving on, let's talk about hand tools. These might not seem glamorous, but they're super important, especially after things go haywire. We're talking about hammers, saws, wrenches, the whole kit. When there's no hardware store nearby, these tools become as precious as gold. They're what you need to fix a leaky roof or rig up a solution to everyday problems. But because they're so valuable, everyone wants them. So, how do you keep your trusty tools safe from ending up in the wrong hands? Hide them away in a secret spot, maybe behind a hidden panel in the workshop, or tucked away in the basement where nobody would think to look. The key is to keep them unnoticed and unremarkable until you need them. Another thing you might not think would be important to looters is alcohol. It's something many of us don't think much about until times get tough. In a situation where everything's gone sideways, alcohol isn't just for relaxing, it becomes a valuable commodity for trading. For some, it's also a necessity they can't do without, especially for those battling addiction. Plus, it doubles up as a disinfectant in a pinch. But with everyone wanting a piece of the action, your stash can attract unwanted attention. So how do you keep your bottles safe? Think like a moonshiner from the Prohibition era. Get creative with your hiding spots. Maybe there's a hollowed-out space in the garage or an inconspicuous box in the cellar, labeled as old decorations. And here's a pro tip. Keep your collection on the down low. The fewer people who know about it, the better. Next on our list, water filtration. When the taps run dry or the water becomes contaminated, having clean water to drink becomes a top priority. Water filtration systems and purification tablets are your best friends in these situations. But just like everything else on our list, they're in high demand. So how do you ensure you have access to clean water without drawing unwanted attention? Hide your filtration systems in plain sight. Maybe integrate them into your kitchen setup or disguise them as household items. The key is to make sure they're easily accessible for use, but inconspicuous enough to avoid detection. Next, let's talk about medical supplies. When medical facilities are overwhelmed or inaccessible, having basic medical supplies and essential medications can mean the difference between life and death. But just like everything else, these supplies can attract unwanted attention. So how do you keep your medical supplies safe? Hide them in plain sight, maybe in a bathroom cabinet or under the sink. And make sure everyone in your household knows where they are and how to use them in an emergency. Now let's talk about generators. In any disaster scenario, a generator can be a real game changer. When the grid goes down and the lights flicker out, a generator kicks in to keep things running smoothly. It powers up the fridge, keeps the lights on, and ensures your phone stays charged. But having a generator isn't enough. You've got to keep it safe too. Generators are like beacons in the dark, both literally and figuratively. They're loud and let everyone within earshot know that you've got power. So how do you stop this precious resource from becoming a target? It's all about being smart with your setup. Camouflage is key. Think about building a discreet enclosure or using natural cover to keep it hidden. Noise reduction is another biggie. There are ways to muffle the sound, like building a soundproof housing or setting it up in a way that dampens the noise. And don't forget about physical security. A sturdy lock, a chain, or positioning it in a way that makes it hard to move quickly can deter would-be thieves. Remember, the goal here is to blend in, not stand out. Also, don't just rely on one source of energy. Look for alternate sources. Solar panels, generators, and wind turbines are great alternatives during power outages. Some are easier to hide than others. Keep your alternative energy sources in a secure location, safeguarding them from theft and damage. Next, we have fuel, which is like liquid gold in any crisis. Whether it's for keeping your vehicle ready to roll or your generator humming, having a stash of fuel is non-negotiable. It's a lifeblood of mobility and power when the grid's down and gas stations are just hollow shells. But stashing fuel isn't just as simple as filling up a few cans and calling it a day. You've got to play it smart to keep your supply safe and under wraps. First off, think about storage locations that aren't obvious. Maybe a discreet corner of your garage or a well-ventilated shed. And remember, the fuel's not just valuable, it's volatile. Safety's key. So store it in proper containers and away from any potential sparks or flames. Now for the long haul. You'll want your fuel to last. That's where stabilizers come into play. They're like a pause button, keeping your gasoline or diesel fresh and ready to use. Add the right stabilizer, and your fuel can sit tight for months, even years, without losing its mojo. Fuel can be gasoline, propane, or in any other form. Store your fuel supplies in sturdy and leak-proof containers, ensuring they are stored away from heat sources and potential ignition sources. Next up, we have firearms. In a world turned upside down, a firearm can be an equalizer. When things get rough, it can mean the difference between feeling vulnerable and having the means to defend your home. But owning one comes with a big responsibility, especially when it comes to storage. You'll want to keep your firearms securely stored and out of sight. A hidden gun safe or a discreet compartment can be a game changer. And it's not just about hiding them, it's about making sure they're accessible when you need them the most, without being obvious to anyone with sticky fingers. Again, discretion is key. The fewer people who know about your firearms, the better. And what are firearms without ammunition? Secure your ammunition in a hidden location to maintain defensive capabilities and prevent misuse. Keep your ammunition stored in a locked and secure container, ensuring it remains inaccessible to unauthorized individuals. It doesn't always have to be firearms. Personal defense gear, things like pepper spray, tasers, and self-defense tools can offer protection in hostile situations as well. Hide your personal defense gear to ensure readiness for confrontations. Carry your personal defense gear discreetly, keeping it within reach at all times for immediate use. In times of trouble, keeping your important documents and cash safe is super important. Whether there's a storm, a flood, or some other scary situation, having your stuff protected can really help you out. First, let's talk about cash. Having some extra money tucked away can be a big help in emergencies. But you gotta keep it safe from sneaky hands. Try hiding it in a secret spot at home where no one would think to look. Maybe a hidden drawer or a safe that's not obvious. Just keep it away from where people might easily find it. An ingenious way to hide your belongings is to find an old broken fridge, gut it, and bury it in the yard up to the lid. You can stash a lot of things in an old fridge. Now onto your important documents like your ID, passport, and other important papers. These are like your super important stuff that you really don't want to lose. To keep them safe, you can put them in a special container that's fireproof and waterproof. That way, even if there's a fire or flood, your papers stay safe. But what if you need to leave your home quickly? No worries, just make copies of all your important documents. Keep one set of copies in a safe place at home and another set with a trusted friend or family member. You can also take pictures of them with your phone and store them online in a secure place, like a cloud storage. That way, even if you have to leave everything behind, you'll still have access to your important info. Now, on to probably the most important thing: food. When the world is in chaos and grocery shelves are bare, the stash of dried goods, canned eats, and clean water isn't just food. It's literally your lifeline. But here's the deal. If everyone knows you've got a mini-mart in your basement, you're basically rolling out the welcome mat for trouble. Storing your food discreetly is the name of the game. Think about tucked-away spots like a false wall in the basement or a cool, dry place under the stairs. Like all other things on this list, food storage is all about locations that don't scream pantry to anyone who might be snooping around. And let's talk about packaging. Keep it nondescript. No flashy labels or clear containers. You want your supplies to blend in, not stand out. The consequences of your food stores getting discovered can be severe. It's not just about losing your spaghetti and beans. It's about losing your safety net. So you better be sure that your food supply is only there for you, not for uninvited guests. And it doesn't have to be just the stored food. You should find ways to protect your sources of food too. I'm talking about seeds, gardening supplies, animal traps, and fishing gear. All things that help you get food. Conceal these supplies to preserve the means for long-term sustenance. Store your seeds and gardening supplies in a cool, dry, and dark location, ensuring they remain viable for future planting. Hide traps and fishing gear to sustainably harvest protein. Set up your traps and fishing gear discreetly, blending them into the environment to maximize their effectiveness. Not protecting these items can land you in a world of trouble, but these are not the only mistakes you should avoid in a post-disaster situation. Click the video on screen now to learn more about the 7 mistakes you should avoid when disaster strikes.